The obvious questions are, the background of Hellboy and, kind of being brought up to speed, whether it was the prior films, the graphic novels. How did you sort of approach the education process?
Well, I knew about the films even before I got hired in the role because I'm a fan of Guillermo del Toro's, and so I was familiar with that. And then as soon as I got hired, I went back and started reading the comic books because I wanted to see where Ben Daimio fit into all of this. And so I was super surprised in a great way that he's got a legitimate arc and he's in for a long time and he's Asian. And so I was like, hey, I could do that. So it worked out.
So you kind of talk about that, the arc. There's several of them in this movie, characters sort of finding their path. What was it like to sort of work alongside other, actors, actresses that were sort of going through similar paths and educating themselves about the characters they were working with?
I thought it was really great. We're all trying to find our own characters and also trying to find ways that we could work best together. So, in a way, it paralleled our off-screen experience. We're a bunch of people who don't know each other who get thrown together, and we find our own friendships and we develop a working relationship.
And David, as Hellboy, why, in your opinion, is he, just the right fit for this role in this film?
David brings, I think, a depth to the character that I really enjoy. He has classical Shakespearean training, and the way he approached the character actually reminded me, and sounds so pretentious. No, it did remind me of a Shakespearean character, and I thought that he was really exploring it very deeply. When, one could think that he's a comic book character. Well, what kind of work do I really have to do? David really did do a lot of work, and he cared a lot.
So, training on his end is obviously talked about. What kind of training did you go through? I mean, some of these scenes are very intense and driven.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have as much physical stuff as David did, but I've always lived a pretty active lifestyle, so. And I really enjoy it when I get to fight and do some action sequences, so it was just a lot of fun for me.
So, obviously, movie theaters, we're excited for this to be on the big screen. Why is it, just the perfect film for someone to see in our movie theaters?
There's certain films that are small and intimate, and frankly, those films, I would say, you don't really have to see it in a theater. But a movie the scale of this size that has so epic and grand, I think it's great to be able to see it in a theater filled with people next to you who are going through the same experience, like you would a roller coaster. A roller coaster is not as fun when it's just you on the ride.